if we look at how Microsoft prices this, because that's obviously a very important topic, the pricing is calculated based on your previous 12 months of cloud services and Azure consumption purchases. And they even look at some of the on-prem licenses like backend server licenses, Windows Server and SQL, or infrastructure, what Microsoft calls these, and all licenses, only purchases that you've made in the last 12 months. The way they try and quote this is by looking at the total spend that you have on an annual basis in the past, calculate a percentage on top of that. For Azure, it's a tiered system, so you start with anything between $0 and 1.8 million. For Azure, they will calculate 10% on that initial spend. If you spend more, so on top of the 1.8 million, you spend up to $6 million, they will calculate another 7% on that tier. So from 1.8 billion to 6 million. And that goes all the way up to, if you spend over $120 million, then for anything over there, you will pay a 1.75%. You can see this in the slide. That's an actual graduated system. So it will always be 10% for the first part, 7% for the second tier, 5% for the third tier, etc., etc. Similar with anything cloud services around M365, business applications, and on-premises user licenses, they will calculate for the first 1.5 million, 8%, and it goes up all the way to over 15 million, where they still charge you 4%, and they total that cost, and that's what they position to you. Not saying that that is how it always goes, but that's the standard guidelines that Microsoft gives. And they will tell you, okay, based on your current spend, here you go. And that's such a different way of doing it as with the Premier Support offering, where they would just investigate with the end customer. Okay, this is what you need, this is what you might want, and this is what we feel that we should include to help you leverage everything to maximum efficiency. Play around with what we think the amount of hours is going to be and the amount of support calls that you're going to have, and quote you a price. Now they're just saying, okay, you're spending 30 million in Azure. That's a cost. You're spending 12 million on infrastructure licenses. That's a cost. You have all these M365 licenses. That's the cost. Total it all up. There you go. So what you see, 4 or 5 times, maybe even 6, 7 times more on your unified support spend compared to your Premier spend.
So the funny part is, the more you're spending, the more you're paying for your support. That is not a very good principle. I actually like the old principle with the Premier support, where they more or less in cooperation with the client determined an amount that you had to pay.
So, but I do understand where they're coming from, right? So what they're saying is, as you grow, support that we need to deliver to your environment might grow as well. What I have an issue with is the percentages that they put on top of this. And that's what we see, I guess, a lot in the market, that they're saying, how am I supposed to explain to my organization that I went from 100K a year on my Premier support to 500, 600, 700, maybe even 800K.
Indeed.
For the same level of service that you want to grant me.
Yeah, cannot be explained.
So that's on pricing, how Microsoft delivers the quote out to you.